Hey, welcome back to the Car Doctor channel. I'm Tim. I'm here at my repair shop, the beautiful, glorious Donor Automotive in Anchorage, Alaska. It's a beautiful place, and I'm getting dizzy. Got this 2014 F-150 XL. And this has a 3.7 flex motor in it. Came in today with customer complaint of the engine kind of stalling and a check engine light illuminated. And I made videos on these issues before, anyway, pulled a couple codes, P2195, P2197. It did, in memory codes, I found a P0300 and a P0316 misfire codes, but the 2195 and 2197 are going to be, basically the O2 sensor stuck in lean mode, bank 1 and 2. So after looking at the data, I wish I had it hooked up right now, I don't. On the scan tool, you want to look at your flex fuel counts, and it should be around 10%. It uses the mass airflow actually to calculate the alcohol percentage. And Alaska, where we're at, we don't have alcohol content fuel, so it would be abnormal to find that. But also this vehicle is prone to occasionally needing that keep alive memory reset, kind of the adaptives reset occasionally for similar issues. So don't be afraid in your diagnostic process to do that. Just kind of reset your cam and see what effect that may have, especially when you're dealing with a condition like this. But I just wanted to say, in this case, second time in as many months as I've seen it, these mass airflows, the slot style sensors get, in this case, bugs in them. And I don't know all the exact reasons why, but I know that the difficulty of removing this air filter cover, and like when an oil change outfit is in there checking your air filter to try to sell you unnecessary stuff, they have a hard time really keeping contaminants from entering, because unless you remove this duct hose here to access the filter, remove the cover, by undoing these clips here, you typically will introduce contaminants into this. It's just prone to having that happen. I don't know what else to say, because really the mass airflow sensors are no different than most modern slot style sensors. Maybe just the size of the slots where the airflow goes through might be a little smaller, so it's kind of like a funnel that traps insects in there. And this time it was a small, like, little gnat that got in there. My test showed that we were getting inaccurate readings of the mass airflow. But in this case, and I always recommend with these that we go with a Motorcraft part, a little bit expensive. This one was, $140 plus for the part, but this is not something you want to mess around and install a reman or a crappy brand part. But with one thing I wanted to say is make sure you take the air filter out, suck that thing out, and you don't reintroduce contaminants like bugs that are laying down in there and whatnot to the top of the air cleaner or the air filter, and then you drive down the road and the same thing's going to happen. So make sure you get everything cleaned out so you're starting fresh with the new sensor. It is possible I could have cleaned this out and gone that route and milk a few miles out of this sensor, but in this case I wanted to be thorough, and we have enough mileage on here that even the sensor, if I cleaned it up and removed the contaminants from it, probably isn't gonna read perfectly anyway, so I went ahead and replaced the sensor. I'll go ahead and reconnect it and retest this thing, see how it goes. Okay, here's some of the codes that we had. You'll get this 1639 after clearing the cam, and I did that, and these two O2 sensor codes returned. But disregard the P1639. It's not really relevant in this case. But what I am going to do at this point is turn the vehicle back on, clear the codes. Okay, and I'm also going to go back into the functional tests and clear the keep alive memory. And that's going to clear like fuel composition and whatnot, because like I said, mass airflow readings are going to help the PCM determine the alcohol content as well. So we'll go back and start up the vehicle. So let's go and look at some of this data I talked about before. If you go into engine management data, you'll find the flex fuel, what is it called? Flex fuel initiation, or I'll find it here. Flex fuel learn, no, that's not it. Flex fuel learned, no. Inferred flex fuel. So the inferred flex fuel percentage should be around 10. We're sitting at 14. We're good there. That is something, if you have access to a scan tool, you've got those two codes I mentioned. Take a look at that. If you've gotten an extraordinarily high flex fuel inferred percentage, then I would highly suspect you need to test for alcohol content, and you need to test the mass airflow. I can also show you some of the tests we can do on the mass airflow as far as the circuit. The only, on the Snap-on Solus here, the only mass airflow, I don't get a voltage per se reading on the Solus. It will only give me milligrams per second. I forget where I find that, but I've gone through every freaking PID, and the only thing I can get is grams per second, and we were slightly high on that previously. We were at 5, over 5, and it is not there. Go back up here. Mass airflow, we're at 4.72 now. That's closer to where we want to be. The vehicle hasn't stalled at all since this. You know, as soon as it went into closed loop, it just boom, crapped out. So this is looking good. Anyway, I'm sorry this isn't more detailed video. I should have put my lap scope on here. Okay, here's the mass airflow sensor connector, and this is the 4-circuit mass, and you can see the different tests you can do here. You want battery voltage on pin 3, you want good ground on pin 4 there, and with it connected we can connect the lab scope to pin 5 and measure the actual output voltage. There's some more information there. But if you do have the ability to monitor the mass airflow voltage on these when they're acting up like this one, you'll see a broad fluctuation, and then potentially you're going to see fuel trims going probably full on negative in this case, and stuck. So in this case, fuel trims were going negative, both banks were stuck on lean, and if you had your lab scope connected to pin 5 there, that voltage is going to fluctuate quite a bit and kind of coincide with the poor running condition of the vehicle in most cases. So again, you can do without any tools and equipment. Just pull that mass airflow out, be careful removing it, and then take it over to like a piece of white paper and you know, bang it a little bit and see if a bug falls out of it, or if you can look inside and there's a bug trapped in it. I don't know why, but you know, it's a buggy deal. But this one is fixed, man. This thing's running smooth. Like I said, it would enter closed loop and just fall flat on its face, run like crap, stall, and start setting misfire codes. So it's not the first video I've made on this. Exact same sensor, exact same intake air, and just another opportunity to remind people to look for contamination and look for the telltale signs. You may also have that P0174 code and other kind of like fuel trim codes that'll pop up, but this one in particular just had the 2 banks of O2 sensors stuck lean, and then some misfire codes along with that. Hey, I hope this video is helpful. I'm going to give you some update for our regular viewers shortly about what I've been up to the last, I don't know, 6-8 months of not producing any videos or content to my channel. I got a good excuse for you, and one I think is going to be exciting for everyone. So I want to give you an update, and I'll do that here in the next few days. But thanks for hanging in there. Appreciate you watching and subscribing, and thank you for sending beer. Really appreciate that. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.